Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are opening up the fitness toolbox. Whether your goal is to run a marathon or just feel a little bit stronger carrying in the groceries, knowing which training method to use is absolutely the key. So let's dive right in.
I want you to imagine this. You're trying to hang a picture. You've got a screw, but all you have is a hammer. Now, sure, you could probably force that screw into the wall, but it's not going to be effective. It won't be efficient, and let's be honest, it's going to look pretty bad. Well, the exact same idea applies to your fitness. Using the wrong workout for your goal is just like using a hammer on a screw.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? I mean, we are bombarded with options all the time. HIIT, lists, weightlifting, cardio. It can feel totally overwhelming. The whole point of this explainer is to cut right through all that noise and help you pick the perfect training method for whatever you want to achieve.
Okay, first up in our toolbox, we've got what I like to call the endurance engines. These are the methods designed to really boost your cardiovascular fitness, build up your stamina, and just keep you going longer and stronger. Let's kick things off with a classic. This is probably what pops into your head when you hear the word cardio. The key phrase to remember here is steady and sustained. So think of a long 30-minute jog on the treadmill, or a steady bike ride, or maybe a swim where you just find a comfortable pace and keep on going, no planned breaks. On a physiological level, this kind of training is incredible for building up your mitochondrial density, which, in simple terms, means you're upgrading your body's own cellular powerhouses for long-haul energy. Pretty cool, right? So, as you can see, with things like running, cycling, or swimming, this method is just fantastic for building a really solid aerobic base. And all that means is you're improving your body's ability to use oxygen for fuel and do it efficiently. So if you're training for, say, a 10K, a half marathon, or a long-distance bike ride, this is your foundational tool. That long, steady Sunday run? Yep, that's continuous training in action.
All right, now this next one is really interesting just because of its name, fartlek. It's actually Swedish for speed play, and honestly, that is the perfect way to describe it. It's still continuous, so you're not stopping, but you're playing with your speed. You mix in faster bursts with slower recovery jogs, but it's all unstructured and totally spontaneous. And this is just such a brilliant way to build both your speed and your endurance at the very same time. Plus, it keeps your workouts from getting stale and boring. Instead of just jogging at one pace, you might decide, okay, I'm going to sprint to that lamppost. And then you jog to the next corner, and then you run hard up the hill ahead. It's a really fun and super effective way to mix things up.
Now for our third endurance tool, and this one adds some real structure to that idea of changing up your intensity. Interval training is all about alternating between these really short, high-intensity bursts of exercise and planned periods of either complete rest or very low-intensity recovery. It's designed to push you way harder than you could ever sustain continuously, and it's all built around a specific work-to-rest ratio. A huge benefit here is something scientists call EPOC, or the afterburn effect, where your metabolism actually stays cranked up long after you finish the workout. This comparison here lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got the steady marathon pace of continuous training, all aimed at building stamina. And on the other, you have the sharp peaks and valleys of interval training, which is all about targeting speed and what we call aerobic power, your ability to produce a ton of energy really quickly for those intense efforts. The real key difference is the structure, no rest versus a very deliberate work-rest cycle. All right, so we've tuned up our engines. Now it's time to grab the tools for building the chassis. The power builders are all about developing muscular strength, endurance, and that explosive power that helps you jump higher and move faster. When it comes to efficiency, you just can't beat circuit training. The idea is you set up a series of stations with different exercises, and you move from one to the next with as little rest as possible. The goal here is to keep your heart rate up the whole time while you work different parts of your body, giving you a cardio and a strength workout all in one shot. Because you're hitting different muscle groups back to back, going right from push-ups for your chest to squats for your legs, you get an amazing full-body workout in a really short amount of time. It's an awesome tool for building up your muscular endurance and just your general all-around conditioning. And now for a true classic, weight training. This is really the fundamental method for building raw strength. The principle couldn't be simpler. You challenge your muscles by making them move some kind of resistance, whether that's a dumbbell, a barbell, a kettlebell, or a gym machine. The core idea behind weight training is something called progressive overload. All that means is that you gradually increase the resistance over time to force your muscles to adapt and get stronger.
And listen, it's not just about building bigger muscles. It's also incredibly important for improving your bone density. So from competitive powerlifters to folks who just want to carry their groceries in one trip, this tool is absolutely essential.
So our final power building tool is plyometrics. When you hear that word, I want you to just think explosive. This method is all about developing power, which, if you remember from physics class, is a combination of strength and speed. It involves really quick, powerful movements, which is why it's often just called jump training.
The box jump is a perfect example. It's not just about getting on top of the box, it's about generating the most force you can in the shortest amount of time. You can see the sequence here. First, you load up the muscles, then you explode upwards, and then, and this is key, you land softly to absorb the impact. This kind of training is an absolute game changer for developing athletic speed and power.
Okay, we've laid out all the tools on the workbench. We've got our endurance engines and we've got our power builders. So now we get to the most important part. How do you choose the right one for the specific job you want to do? This cheat sheet right here really ties it all together. Let's just break it down. Look at the difference. If your goal is marathon-level endurance, your go-to tool is going to be continuous training. But if you want to be more explosive for a sport like basketball, you've got to bring in plyometrics to build that power. Playing a team sport like soccer that needs both jogging and all-out sprinting, fartlek is a perfect fit. And for that pure fundamental strength to be a powerlifter, you have to be using weight training. See, every goal has its ideal tool.
And that right there is the real takeaway. It's not about finding the one best workout in the world. It's about finding the best workout for your specific goal. Being purposeful with your training, applying the right tool for the job, is what separates just spinning your wheels from making real, tangible progress. So take a look at your own fitness toolbox. Think about what you really want to build, what you want to improve. Now that you know what each of these tools is specifically designed for, which one are you going to pick up for your next workout?